The whole thing goes like this.
It can be found on page 10 if you want to follow along.
Maya Hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Remember, Bernie? Maya Hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Let's try that again. I know some people are sitting and resting. It's been a long week, long drives, a lot of work. Maya Hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Maya Hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Here's the middle part, just Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Everybody. Maya Hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Maya Hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Now just your voices. Maya Hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Maya Hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Do the middle part. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat. Last time, big ending now. Maya Hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Maya Hayom, Shabbat Shalom. You did great. We're going on the road next week. You'll all get emails from me. Our first gig to sing Maya Hayom. It's wonderful to greet Shabbat. Maya Hayom literally means what a wonderful day. What a marvelous day. It's so marvelous. Zach, you're going to come up with your parents? Is your sister coming too? Oh yeah, you're coming too. It's our custom to have the family of bar and bat mitzvah students to lead us in candles and kiddush. If you open your book from right to left, you'll find where we are on pages 2 and 3. We invite you to rise as you were able.
And 121.
Page 2 and 3 of your prayer book.
You don't need this. You need that. You're going to do
Ooh, that's a big face. Here we go. Hannah's cool. There you go. That's what she taught us yesterday.
At these Shabbat candles give light to all whom behold them. So may we, by our lives, give the light to all who behold us, as their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light. So may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen.
Amen. Please remain standing. Turn the page. Vayi'er vayivoker yom hashishi, and there was evening and morning, a sixth day. The heaven and the earth were finished, and all their array. On the seventh day, God finished the work that God had been doing, and God ceased on the seventh day from all the work that God had done. And God blessed the seventh day and declared it holy, because on it, God ceased from all the work of creation that God had done.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzvanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hin hilanu zik around the ma'aseh bereshit.
Yom Techilah.
Lamikra Kodesh. Zecher Latziat Mitzrayim. Kivanu Bacharta. Va'otanu Kidashta. Mikol Ha'amim. Shabbat Kodecha. Be'ahava uvratzon. Inchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai. Mekadesha Shabbat.
Amen. Have a drink. It's just juice. Vintage Tuesday, but it's just juice. Everybody, please find a seat. Delighted Rabbi Andy has come into our presence here. Excuse me, we have to have a hug before we start. Zach, we'll see you in just a couple minutes, okay, for Vishamru? There you go. Terrific. Hey, thanks for jumping in. Amy, Jeff. So if you would, we're going to look at a reading on page 6 in the middle of the page. If you have the thicker book that you have, it's 124. I'll tell you what, I'll just call the larger numbers that are in the brackets. And that way, if you have a thin book or a thick book, it won't really matter. So we're 124 in the middle of the page. We'll read responsively about the kind of community that we aspire to be. May the door of the synagogue be wide enough to receive all who hunger for love, all who are lonely for friendship.
May it welcome all who have cares to unburden, thanks to express, hopes to nurture.
May the door of this synagogue be narrow enough to shut out pettiness and pride, envy and enmity.
May its threshold be no stumbling block to young or straying feet.
May it be too high to admit complacency, selfishness, and harshness.
May this synagogue be for all who enter the doorway to a richer and more meaningful life.
So turn the page, look at page 127 in the middle, at the bottom of the page. We offer thanks to God for this Shabbat, which unites us in faith and hope together. For Shabbat
holiness, which inspires sacred living. For Shabbat memories, glowing even in darkness. For Shabbat peace, born of friendship and love. We offer thanks and blessing, O God.
Now in the service called Kabbalat Shabbat, we're receiving Shabbat, welcoming Shabbat, we have themes. The themes are friends, brides, angels. So we're going to start with friends, Yedid Nefesh, which is in all the way into the back of your book on page 332, I think it is. Or
yes.
Is that good?
Yes.
332. And sometimes, this is a beautiful song, but sometimes the Hebrew doesn't come quickly, which is why I believe that God understands la-las, okay? Which is, la-la, actually la is Hebrew for to her, but that's a whole other grammatical thing. So we're going to start with the la-las, will you do nefesh, and then we'll do more la-las. 1, 2.
Ya la ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la ya la 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 ya la ya la 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 ya la 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 la.
These are easy words.
Ya la 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 ya la 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 ידיד נפש אף הרחמן בשוך עבדך אל רצונך ירוץ עבדך כמו אייל ישתחווה אל מול הדרך ירב לו ידידותיך מנופת זוף בכל טעם ירב לו ידידותיך מנופת זוף בכל טעם יאללה יאללה la 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 ya la 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 ya la ya la 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 ya la ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la la ya la 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 ya la ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la la la.
We're going ahead to the bride that's the most famous of all songs that we have for Shabbat. It's called Lecha Dodim.
It's on page 138 and 139 using those blue numbers in brackets.
This is a newer tune we've introduced just the last few months. And so we're going to start, it's way up here, but it's going to be a lot of fun. We do verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. In the last verse, we turn around and face the back. In the last two words of the last verse, Boi Kala, we bow to Frank or the bride, whoever comes in from over there, and whoever comes in from the parking lot, who knows which guys the bride will take today. 1, 2.
Yai la lai lecha dodi, Yai la lai likrat kala, Yai la lai penei Shabbat nekala.
Try that again.
Yai la lai lecha dodi, Yai la lai likrat kala, Yai la lai penei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad, Yishmianu el ha'miyuchad. Adonai echad u'shemo echad, Shemo tiferet ve'litila. Yael lai lecha dodi, Yael lai likrat kala, Yael lai penei Shabbat, penei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, ki mekor ha'beracha, merosh mikedem nesucha, sof ma'aseh b'machshava tchila. Laila lai lecha dodi, laila lai likrat kala, laila lai penei Shabbat, penei Shabbat nekabela. Hitorari kiva orek kumi uri shir daveri kevod Adonai alayich nigla.
Everybody please rise and face the rear. It's verse 9.
Penei Shabbat nekabela. Boi v'shalom ateret bala, gam b'simcha u'b'tzola, toch emunei am sekula.
Bow to the left.
Boi chala,
To the
boi
right.
chala. Lai lecha dodi, lai lai likrat kala, lai penei
Please be seated.
Shabbat, penei Shabbat nekabela.
Last time.
Laila lai lecha dodi, laila lai likrat kala, laila lai penei Shabbat nekabela.
That's a lot of fun for a language many don't speak regularly, right? But this is the language that connects us to our past, connects us to our heritage. It makes us authentic. Nothing is more authentic than turning the page. Actually, what's on the page, not just turning the page, right? What's on the next page is Mizmor Shir Yom HaShabbat, a psalm written 3,000 years ago, a poem to God about Shabbat written by King David. And the beautiful melody we're going to use is from my friend and my teacher. Her name was Debbie Friedman. She's written so many of the songs that we use in our praying, and it goes like this. And if you guys are still dancing, it's a waltz, just so you know.
Mizmor shir leyom HaShabbat, tov lehodot l'Adonai, ulezamer l'shimcha elyon. Mizmor shir leyom HaShabbat, Mizmor shir leyom HaShabbat, tov lehodot l'Adonai, ulezamer l'shimcha elyon. Mizmor shir leyom HaShabbat, להגיד בבוקר חסדך ואמונתך בלילות, עלי אסור ועלי נבל, עלי היגיון בכינור. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני ולזמר לשמך עליון. מזמור שיר ליום השבת.
for Shir Le'yom HaShabbat. Look at the very bottom. Often we do the top in Hebrew and the top in English and the bottom in Hebrew. We're going to do the top in Hebrew and the bottom in English tonight. Look at the very bottom of the inset. The righteous shall... Wait. We're at the bottom of page 140 in the inset. The righteous
bloom like a date palm. They thrive like a cedar in Lebanon. Planted in the house of Adonai, they flourish in the courts of God. In old age, they still produce fruit. They are full of sap and freshness, attesting that Adonai is upright, my rock, in whom there is no wrong.
So I told you we would have three features. We'd have friends, brides, angels. So on the next page, we move to the angels on 142. As much as we want to learn new music that wasn't done by our parents and grandparents, sometimes the old tunes are just so wonderful. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaSharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bohem l'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Barchuni l'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Seichem l'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Please turn the page, and as you are able, rise for the Chatzi Kaddish, which ends this section of our service and leads us into the Baruch Hu, the call to worship, on page 144.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה.
אמן.
יעלמד יברח חירותי ומליך מלכותי. בחיי חון וימי חון ובחיי לכל בית ישראל. בגלה ובזמן קריב יאמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם לעל מעל מיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי לקודשה. בריחו לי אלה מכל ברכתה ושירתה. תושבחתה ונחמתה דמיר על ימה ויאמרו אמן.
We continue on page 146 with Baruch Hu. Turn the page. Blessing for the beauty, the wonders of light mixing into dark.
Roll into dark, roll into light, night be That's all it is in English. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day. Everybody on roll into dark. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night.
Baruch Ata Adonai, Hama'ariv Aravim.
Page 32, Ahavat Olam.
Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael.
Or 150, sorry.
Amcha Avta, Amcha Avta. Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, otanu limadeta, otanu limadeta. Al ken Adonai Eloheinu b'shokbenu, u'kumenu nasiach b'chukecha, v'nismach b'divrei toratecha, u'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed, ki hem chayenu, v'yorech yameinu, uvahem keyomam v'layla, keyomam v'layla. Ve'avatcha tasir mimenu le'olamim. Baruch ata Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael, ohev amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed.
Please be seated. We continue on page 154 in the brackets.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם אלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
We read what we just chanted in English because this is such a core section of the Torah, the core section of our service. You shall
To
love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul,
and with all your might. Take to heart these instructions with which I charge you this day. Impress them upon your children. Recite them when you stay at home and when you are away, when you lie down and when you get up. Bind them as a sign on your hand and let them serve as a symbol on your forehead. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Thus you shall remember to observe all my commandments and to be holy to your God. I am Adonai, your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I am Adonai, your God. Adonai Elohechem Emet.
Page 39 or 157. We read responsively. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth.
The high heavens declare your glory. May earth reveal your justice and love.
From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your way.
Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again we overcame oppressive forces.
Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed.
Let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be one and at peace. Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea.
Turn the page.
We're going to start out with la-las, and there are claps, so you follow Rabbi Gorman, because obviously Cantor Berman and I cannot help you in the clapping. We're a little bit busy. La-la like this. La 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 la. La 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 la. Mi chamocha. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nehadar b'kodesh, nora tehilot oseh feneleh, nora tehilot oseh feneleh. Malechotecha ra'u banecha, bokei hayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam, ze'eli anu ve'amru anu ve'am. Adonai imloch, Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed, Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed. And the women dancing with their timbrels followed Miriam as she sang her song. Sing a song to the one whom we've exalted. Miriam and the women danced and danced the whole night long.
ונאמר כי פד אדוני את יעקב וגואלו מיד חזק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני כל ישראל.
Amen.
On pages 160 and 161, we have words and interpretations of the words of Hashkivenu, hoping for peace and friendship and understanding in a world that desperately needs it. So we'll sing a combination of the first two lines on page 161 and the first line and a word on page 160. You'll see how they overlap.
1, 2, 3.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storm. Let there be love and understanding.
This is not hard, guys. It's your native tongue.
Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms.
On the other side.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter, our souls. Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkivenu,
From the piece that we've just created, we're going to get a little rock in here as we invite Zach back up.
Let's do the Chatima, though.
Oh, yes, we can do the Chatima first. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim.
Yeah, you're doing it right here.
Okay.
All right, just here. I'll move
Page
this.
162.
There we go. Pick a key.
All right.
We'll do it with you.
Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asod et ha-Shabbat l'doratam b'rit olam. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asod et ha-Shabbat l'doratam b'rit olam. Beini uvein b'nei Yisrael, oti le'olam, oti le'olam, oti le'olam. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'doratam b'rit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et ha-shamayim va'et ha'aretz v'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'doratam b'rit olam. Uvayom hashvi'i shavat va'inafash, shavat va'inafash, Shavat va'inafash v'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'doratam b'rit olam.
That's wonderful. We expect a lot more tomorrow, right? Now, before you go,
We're going to call up Alex.
Where's Alex? Come on up, Alex. Alex doesn't need that. Is our youth group advisor, and he wants to give you a present because we don't think you're getting enough presents for your bar mitzvah, right?
Hello, Zach. How are you?
Here, here's a
Good.
mic.
I'll use my hi, everybody. Shabbat shalom. What's funny is this prayer is about, right, God ceased, right, and didn't work. I know this feels like work right now, but you're doing a great job. As Rabbi Gibson said, I am the advisor for Party, our teen youth group, and as a bar mitzvah, you are more than welcome, and we would love to have you at our events. So you get a t-shirt, because everybody loves a free t-shirt, and you also get a certificate to come to your first event free. So we hope that we will see you there.
Thank you.
Shabbat shalom and mazel tov.
Wait, practice that handshake. Practice that.
Handshake.
There you go.
All right.
Wait. Them too.
Certainly don't sound nervous.
Here, take your prayer book. Take your siddur. There you go. You need that.
He's so relieved. He's just ready to. Okay, we continue our service on page 164 with the Amidah. Please rise as you are able.
Na 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 na
Please turn the page.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim v'Konei Hakol, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן. ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב והושיע, מוריד אתה. מחלקי חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומדם מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש וקדושים כל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
Please be seated. Page 173, we join together at the top of the page. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day, and may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. Page 175. In the middle, again we join together. You are with us in our prayer, our love, and our doubt, in our longing to feel your presence and do your will. You are the still, clear voice within us. Therefore, O God, when doubt troubles us, when anxiety makes us tremble, when pain clouds the mind, we look inward for the answer to our prayers. There may we find you, and there find courage, insight, and endurance. Let our worship bring us closer to one another, that all Israel and all who seek you may find new strength for your service. Baruch atah Adonai, she'otcha levadcha b'yirah na'avod. And the blessing of gratitude, 177. We join together. God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth which day by day sustains us. For all these and more we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha l'chana lahodot. A blessing for peace on page 178.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim leolam. Ki ata hu melech Adon, lechol hashalom. Ki ata hu melech Adon. ישראל עמך תשים לעולם וטוב בעיניך לברך את עמך ישראל בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך שלום רב ישראל עמך תשים לעולם שלום רב ישראל עמך תשים לעולם תשים לעולם תשים לעולם ברוך אתה אדוני מברך את עמו ישראל בשלום.
With prayers of peace on our hearts, we offer the prayers of our hearts. I invite you to take a few moments to offer them in silence.
Shalom bimromav, uyasa shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. V'imru, amen.
Every time we gather, we are so aware of the blessing we have of being here. When I see somebody who's been ill for a while, we always talk about the fact that being vertical is better than being horizontal. Horizontal is tough. And it's not just about us, it's the people we love. The love who are horizontal either physically or emotionally or spiritually. It's our custom to offer a Mishaberach every time we gather in prayer because we don't want to forget those people who are struggling to become upright. Those who are in hospitals and terrified about what might happen in just the next day or two to them. Those who are in nursing homes who face a long weekend, often without even one visitor. Those who simply walk the earth with a stone in the heart or face the daily battles of sobriety. It's our custom here not only to just sing a Mishaberach, but to give you an opportunity, if you would, to add a name into the collective heart of our congregation. If you are so well versed in our tradition that you know your Hebrew, it's the Hebrew name, son or daughter of mothers, because mothers are the agents of healing in Judaism. If you want to simply call the name out loud, you might want to do that. You might want to simply whisper it. Or you might let the words of the song wash over you as you wish for the healing for those you love in your circle of love, in your circle of life. As I look at your part of the congregation, please feel free to call a name out loud. Please do not raise your hand. Class is over. bat Sheva, Shmuel bat Mara, David ben Rita. Excuse me, I just made, did I say Velvel? It should be Velvel ben and not bat. Silly me. So the Mishaberach is in the brackets on what page?
371.
You can sing with us. You can let it wash over you. You can respond, amen. Let's have this moment of healing for those we love and all of our congregation.
Before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Refuah Shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say
It's an incredible honor to be surrounded by not just good friends and family and sisters cheering on their brothers to do what they themselves did, but rabbis who come to be with us from out of town, like Rabbi Danny Roberts of Cleveland, and Rabbi Ezzy Endy from Jerusalem. 12 years ago, February, is when Bob Bernstein and I met you in Cincinnati. And you were so excited to come to America, and Avigail as well. And Achinoam was this big. I do remember this. And I said to Rabbi Endy, you're being ordained in Jerusalem. Why don't you just take a Jerusalem congregation? Why don't you go someplace where you're going to be comfortable? You're going to have function. You're going to have to write high holiday sermons in English. And he said, I want the challenge. I want to learn. I want to have all the skills I can to be the kind of rabbi I want to be wherever it is, even though I know I'm going back to Israel. And so we got to be good friends. And our families learned to love each other, Avigail and Ezra. And Avshalom, who is larger than me, much larger than me, decided he was a Steelers fan and would watch Steelers games at 2 in the morning from Jerusalem. And Aviyah and Itamar and Achinoam, all of them, so dear that every time I go to Jerusalem, they insist on having me for Shabbat lunch. Every time somebody from Temple Sinai goes to Israel, there's Shabbat dinner or lunch at their house, with Abigail stuffing us like any good Ashkenazi booby. We don't have to read a CV to invite a friend to come and be with us and teach us Torah. And so it's a great honor to invite my friend, my colleague, my Yedid, my dear one, Rabbi Ezzy Endy, to share Torah with us tonight.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
It is really wonderful to be here. Very, very exciting, especially coming here with Abigail. As Rabbi Gibson said, it's been 12 years since I came here and 8 years since we returned to Israel. And I didn't feel complete coming here again without my wife. It's really wonderful. And I really want to thank Rabbi Gibson for inviting us to be here in this very, very special time, celebrating 30 years of you serving the congregation. And I want to tell you, as I've told you before, when I came here, as you said, I think in English you say I was green, right? And you really groomed me into, Am I speaking okay? You really groomed me into being a rabbi, and I learned so much from you. I learned many things, but I think the most important thing is really how to listen to people, how to have the courage to refer to where they're going through, even if sometimes it's challenging, even if sometimes it's easier to be formal, but to open your heart and be there with people in a real way is something that I take with me wherever I go. And this is something I've learned from you. So it is really wonderful to be part of this celebration of Temple Sinai Family of Families. I want to also thank Rabbi Karen Gorbin and Cantor Laura Berman for greeting me here in Temple. And I really want to spend a lot of time with all of you. I know I kind of came in a little late, didn't notice the time. And I saw so many people that I'm waiting to greet closer and hug you at the Oneg after we're going to be done with services. So, another thing I wish to do is to dedicate these words to 10 youngsters who unfortunately yesterday were carried away by a flood that was in the Judean desert. There are 10 wonderful youngsters that lost their lives in a tragedy. And I want to dedicate my words today to Jewish youth all over the world who are striving to make this world a better place to live in. פנים אל מול פנים, פגישה באמצע החיים. הגענו אל עצמנו ממקומות כל כך שונים. העיר נראית אחרת, כאילו לא היינו פה. הלילה את נשארת, חבקי אותי בבוקר שיבוא. אהבנו פעם באמת ובתמים, אהבנו כמו שילדים יודעים, עליי וגם עלייך רואים את השנים, ואת יפה פנים אל מול פנים. This just proves how comfortable I feel here. I want to let you know that this is a wonderful song that is sung by a musician in Israel called Yehuda Poliker. And it talks about midlife crisis. Well, it really talks about midlife love. Yes, we are looking at each other face to face. We do see each other's flaws. We have some new wrinkles that we have earned justly over the years, and so many memories. Painful memories and wonderful memories. We live by a rhythm. We get up in the morning, we ask each other, who's going to make the coffee? We already know who's going to make the sandwiches. It's me. We go to work and we really come back home too late. Our kids make fun of how we are never home. And at night, we look at them with an awkward smile. We laugh, we hug, we have a romantic moment if we're lucky, and we go to sleep. Day after day, night after night. We have another rhythm, our Jewish rhythm, the year cycle. In fact, this is what Emol, our Torah portion, talks about. And since the days of the Torah, we have added holidays to the cycle, and we definitely added new meanings to the ancient ones. Two of these holidays were recently celebrated: Pesach, Passover, the holiday of Jewish formation and human liberty, and Yom HaAtzmaut, the modern state of Israel's Independence Day. And this year, we turn 70, an age that for people is serious and respected. For our country, it's nothing. So, are we still a young country? When we look at each other face to face, what do we see? And I am talking about us, Israel and American Jews, the biggest and most influential Jewish communities all over the world. We are not really the same age, are we? Who's bigger? In which ways? Who deserves more respect? and who's a bigger troublemaker. We look towards each other face to face and we see our flaws, but we don't turn our eyes away from each other. We are a part of a Jewish covenant and we have an obligation towards the future. And the next generation, our children, are wonderful and they see through our eyes. They do not necessarily see things the way we do, and they are a little too old for us to tell them what to do. They grew up here, running between the aisles under the watching eyes of Phyllis Winkle. Where are they today, our kids and yours? Are they a part of the same Jewish covenant as you? Or perhaps they have a different one. They still look up to us, and the only reason we know that is that we still look up to our parents, even if they are not here to observe. What's especially fascinating is that our kids have so much to teach us about change, loyalty, and hope. We can all think about wonderful lessons our children teach us every day. I'd like to share with you some of the lessons my own children teach me back home. And this time I will focus on my older one, my firstborn and the apple of my eye, Avshalom. Some of you might know that Avshalom sees his attachment to Judaism in a somewhat different way than I do. As the son of a Reform rabbi who felt he had to carry this burden with him, he chose to rebel. But his rebellion was not to free himself from tradition. On the contrary, he chose to tie himself stronger with his tefillin to what he feels is his calling, Orthodox Judaism. His first step was his refusal to drive on Shabbat from a rather young age. And today, let's just say that when he's home for Shabbat, we need to watch our steps in order to respect each other's traditions. And we do that with love and some krechzen. We went through many stages of constructive conversation, and sometimes I lost it when I felt that he doesn't have enough respect for who I am and what I have to give. But in response to that, he would look at me and say, "Abba, what does love got to do with it? Of course I respect you. I just need to find my own way in this world in order for me to carry the traditions that you gave me." There's a famous Hasidic story about a father who was a known rabbi, and his son joined a Hasidic community, Jewish frum community that was all about dancing and singing and meditation. And he was upset with his son, and he said to him, "Get serious. What are you doing? You're a son of a rabbi. You have to be a serious student." In response, his son said to him a famous quote from the Song of the Sea. He said, "Ze Eli ve'anvehu Elohei avi v'aromemenu." This is my God, and I will enshrine him, the God of my father, I will exalt him. I need to find my own God before I can carry on the traditions you passed down to me. Truthfully, he never said this sentence to me, but he lives by it daily. And he taught me that the only way to live by our Jewish covenant is not just to talk the talk, but more importantly, to walk the walk. What does that mean? To spend time together, to revise and cherish our relationship by our willingness to open our hearts and our minds towards each other, to play, and most importantly, to laugh. How is that relevant to us looking at each other face to face tonight? Pittsburgh is always going to be a meaningful part of who I am. But tonight, when I look at you eye to eye, face to face, and also when I was here, it's also an opportunity to look at each other as the two main Jewish communities in the world, Israel and America. We feel attached to one another, but we also question each other at times. Is Israel behaving as American Jews believe it should? And I'm not talking politics over here. I'm talking values and tradition. How do we stay in touch and continue our mutuality with the changes both communities are going through, Israel and American Judaism? The latest story or portion talks about Natalie Portman. You might have heard of Natalie Portman. She was supposed to receive a very respected prize in Israel, and she chose not to come. She chose not to come and receive the hug that Israel wanted to give her. This is a prize that is given by the state of Israel and the Jewish Agency to a Jewish leader or an artist around the world that, young Jews can look up to. She chose not to come because she chose to educate Israelis. And some of the Israelis feel very defensive about this message that she is trying to carry out. What is Natalie Portman doing by saying, I will not come to receive the prize, the hug that we wish to give her? Could she have done it in a different way? Could the state of Israel invite her on her own terms? Or is this a lost battle? I don't know Natalie Portman. I actually don't remember seeing a lot of her movies, but she does challenge us these days. Are we going to overcome our sensitivity in order to reshape our relationship, or are we going to be prisoners of our own pride? Do we invest in our relationship as American and Israeli Jews at all? When is the last time we went dancing together? Did we forget to laugh? It's a little hard to laugh if we don't talk to each other, and I'm not talking in principle, but physically. Do we have enough opportunities to get to know one another? Why don't we invest in our relationship? Spend more time together, make an effort to understand, to feel, to cry, to laugh with each other. I'm here to tell you about my community in Israel, but I feel that this does not sum up the reason I came here. I would like to reach out and say shalom. I personally don't need to do that. Our lives are attached to one another, but as it is, but I bring a lot of my congregants and friends with me tonight, and they would like to do the same, to reach out to you and to invest in revising our relationship so we can continue our Jewish covenant, because we have too much to lose if we give up on one another. We depend on each other. Our challenges are mutual, and so are our achievements, because this is how family works. We take pride in each other, and sometimes we embarrass each other. Parashat Emor literally translates to delivering a message, להגיד אמירה. And my message to you this Shabbat is not a big word, but rather a friendly gesture. I would like to thank you for inviting me here, and I would like to say to you, שלכם שלנו ושלנו שלכם. Yours is ours, and ours is yours. We would like for us to be together, to create together, to really do what we can in order for us to go on to the next generation, to continue making our people great. We need you. We believe that we have a lot to offer. And I think that only if we invest in our relationship, only if we become a community and talk to each other and not just about each other, we can really face the challenges we're facing and create a wonderful, better, a Jewish community, a Jewish people that can really face the challenges we have and create a wonderful future for all of us. And I'm here in order to try to create this bond that we can create together. Adonai oz le'amo yiten, Adonai yevarech et amo b'shalom. Adonai will give strength to our people. Adonai will give peace on all of us. Shabbat shalom.
Thank you.
אולי אני יכול להגיד משהו בעברית בכל כך יפה.
Someday I'll be able to give a sermon in Hebrew to an Israeli congregation as beautifully in English as Rabbi Andy did tonight. There are a few things that we want to share before we go on to Elena and Kaddish. One, the Sfirat HaOmer is coming up in just a second. Those who want to learn more about Rabbi Andy and his congregation, there's going to be a gathering at Frank Schwartz's and Carolyn's and Matt's. What's your address on Whiteman again? 1930 Whiteman up just before Beacon at 7 o'clock or 7:30? 7:30 on Monday, after all the doings here for Sunday night and the celebration of my tenure. I'm so delighted that you were willing to come, and we're so delighted that you came. And Abigail will hug as well. But 7:30 on Monday, 1930 Whiteman. And please, come and learn more about the incredible community. When I was ordained, I went through what's called placement. They told me the list of congregations, and I tried to find a congregation that was a match. In Israel, when rabbis are ordained, Reform rabbis, they literally have to dig a spade in the ground, as it were, to create something out of nothing. And that's what he has done. Kilat Dor is really a beautiful new creation of Rabbi Andy. It's a wonderful community I've prayed with many times, and I hope you come to learn more about it. Tomorrow at 8:30 in the morning, we're having Torah study upstairs in the Lockhart Lounge. At 9:15 in the Barnett Chapel, we're having our Shabbat Minyan, where we sing 90% of our service. And then at 10:30, I don't know, Zach, what are we going to do in this room? My bar mitzvah, exactly. I couldn't have said it better. We're so honored and delighted. You have a beautiful singing voice, and we're looking forward to hearing your Torah that you're going to be giving. And there's going to be a celebration after that as well. On Sunday, why don't you talk a little bit about Sunday? There is no Hartman seminar, but there is the last day of our formal teaching for young people. So you want to say a word about that?
It's the end of our first year of Next Door.
What is Next Door? Boy, what an interesting name for a program.
It means next generation. Because we are raising up the next generation of our leaders, of the Jewish people, and our children. And we've started a new program this year, and our final presentations for all of the classes, the courses that the kids have been working on, the projects that they've been working on, will be presented. And we'll also have a moving up ceremony for our second graders going into third and our sixth graders going into seventh. And we're going to unroll the Torah and get a tour of what's inside.
A tour of Torah?
A Torah tour?
How
Yeah.
wonderful. So next Friday is mostly musical Shabbat, and it's going to be guided by the prayers of the heart Chugim grades. Our kids who have written their prayers are going to help lead the service. The next night, Saturday night, is going to be our Pride Seder. There is room at the Seder table for you. Let all who are hungry for acceptance in the LGBTQ community come and eat together. And what time is that on Saturday night? Whenever it says in the website.
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock, is that what it's going to be?
I know when I need to be there.
And 2 weeks from tonight is our second annual Islamic Center Shabbat. So just before they begin Ramadan, they'll be coming to us for services and to share our meal with us as well. So please come and let the Islamic community know that we are friends, as we have always been in the time that I have worked with them over the years. Again, a special welcome from our Cleveland rabbi, Rabbi Dan Roberts. You're representing all of Cleveland, Shaker, Beechwood, you name it. You got the whole thing going there. What? More Clevelanders from what town? From Solon. My friend Bruce Gottlieb is a rabbi. He works for Jewish Family and Children's Service there. Who else are Clevelanders? That whole and you had the first draft pick, right? So we'll see you on the field of battle in September. I already have my Steelers schedule up in my refrigerator, so I know not to program against it. It's a big deal. We're going to have an oneg to have an opportunity to have snacks together right afterwards, and I know Rabbi Andy is looking forward to seeing those he hasn't had a chance to see, and Abigail as well. In our book on page 586 in the brackets in the middle.
On page 570, we have the counting of the Omer. The Omer is the period between Pesach and Shavuot. And in the middle of page 570, we have the blessing. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al sirat haomer, hayom shmona v'esrim yom shehem arba shavuot la'omer. Today is the 28th day, which is 4 weeks of the Omer.
As you are able, please rise on page 586 in the middle of the page for the version of Elena that we sing. לדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא שם בגויי ארצו, ולא שמנו במשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורר עלינו ככל עמונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו famously in Ecclesiastes, there's a time for every season, a time for every event under heaven, a time to be born and a time to die. But what happens when that death does not occur in its proper time, but is cut short, as was my father's in October of 2016? We dedicate this yahrzeit plaque to go out on our board tonight because it's inconceivable that my family would come together and not take this opportunity to call his name to mind and to honor his legacy. In the name of the family of Lawrence D. Gibson and the generations that loved him so much, we hereby dedicate this yahrzeit plaque in his eternal honor, as together we say, Amen. It's our custom that instead of simply having everybody rise for Kaddish, as is the custom I grew up with in the Reform movement, that we recognize that there are people who are in fact mourning. As I read the name of this week's yahrzeits, if you were saying Kaddish for that person, we'll ask you to rise, and then it will be followed by the names of those who have died in more recent days. This week we commemorate the incredible lives and legacies of Fred Baumfeld and Harry Barenfield, Milton Blank, Queenie Tchaikovsky, and Hazel Kluss, Ilsa Cohen, Edmund J. Dilworth Jr. and Stanley Fried, Elsie Giffen, Eleanor Goldblatt and Samuel Goldblum, Fanny Gottlieb, Daniel Hammerschmidt and Donald Hirsch, Stanford Isaacson, Lena I. Krieger and Daniel Landis, Esther Landis, Leonard Levin, William Lewis, Jean Lilienthal, Saul Lurie and Louis Maybach, Joshua Myers, Michael Miller and Nathan Nyman, Seymour Ritter, Jenny Rolban, Rose M. Rudolph and Michael Schlesinger, Frank Schwartz Sr., Martha Brown Schwendinger, Milton M. Smith and Rebecca Snyderman, Louis Steinbach, Rita Tabor, and Al Tannenbaum, Deborah Suzanne Tannenbaum, Helen Tenenhauser, Fanny Tufshinsky, Robert Vernier, and Philip Zove. And now we remember those whose recent deaths we still mourn: Benita Woodard, Martha Yorkin Berman, Shirley Golub, Regina Feinberg, Dorothy Melnick, Walter Boninger, and Shirley Lieberman. Because we believe with all of our hearts that no mourner should ever need to stand alone, we rise with our mourners and accompany them as they say their Kaddish, which can be found in your books on page 598. Yitgadal v'yikadash mirabah.
Amen.
V'yomad yivrach yiruteh v'yamlich malchuteh. V'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayedechol Beit Yisrael. V'agala v'izman kari v'yimru amen. Yehei shmei rabba mevarach le'olam olam me'ol maya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. Yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shmei d'kudsha brichu. Le'ela minko birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechamata. Damiram bi'olma v'yimru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya. V'chaim aleinu ve'el kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu ve'el kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. May the source of peace in the high heavens cause peace to descend on all of us, all Israel and all the world, a world that desperately needs healing and peace, upon all of us who mourn our beloved dead, as together we all say,
Amen.
Amen. I'm going to ask you to remain standing for our final song. Our final song is called Adon Olam. It's a version that was very popular in Israel 30 years ago. It hit number 5 on the radio charts. That happens in Israel. Prayer songs make the popular hit charts. And it goes like this. So we're on page 625. Adon Olam, Hashem Allah, B'terem kol Yitzir Nivra, Le'et Nasa, B'chefso kol, Azai Melech Shemo Nikra, V'acharei, Kichlot Kakol, Levado Yimloch Nora, Hu Haya, V'hu Hoveh, V'hu Yeh, V'tifara. I tried to do this in one breath. Adon Olam Hashem Alach B'terem Kol Yitzir Nivra Le'et Nasa B'chefsa Kol Azai Melech Shemo Nikra V'acharei Kichlot Hakol Levado Yimloch Nora V'hu Haya V'hu Hoveh V'hu Yeh B'tifara Adon Olam Hashem Alach B'terem Kol Yitzir Nivra Le'et Nasa B'chefsa Kol Azai Melech Shemo Nikra V'acharei Kichlot Hakol Levado Yimloch Nora V'hu Haya V'hu Hoveh B'tifara V'hu Haya V'hu Hoveh B'tifara.
Blessed are you as you come in, and blessed are you as you go on your way. And as you go on your way, I hope you find the connections to help build relationships between us and those around us, as together we say,
Amen.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei minei mizonot.
Amen.
Praise to you, Adonai, our ruler of all, who makes animal crackers and other kinds of baked goods. As together we say, Amen. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Have an animal cracker. Here. You're still young. Have an animal cracker. Just don't pour milk on it. That's cereal. Okay? Shabbat shalom, everyone.